Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Sweet Tree of Life Tarot. Thank you for joining me for your mid-reading for mid-January 2023. Happy New Year. Hope everything is going better for you, and I wish you lots of health and happiness when continuing the rest of the year. Let's go ahead and see what the issue is here. The issue is we have in the number one position, we have the Page of Cups, because it is considered to be in the reversal. And with the Page of Cups, it kind of lets me know that maybe you or your partner might be having some recklessness or impatient attitude and approach to a situation. And maybe you might be a little overly cautious and that's causing a blocking of creativity and progress. So there is that kind of back and forth kind of a impatient attitude that might be going on. It might be yourself and your boyfriend or girlfriend or spouse. Could be Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. They might have some kind of fire sign, or they might represent those kind of fiery type of strong will. But it looks like this kind of impatient attitude to approaching to the situation might be kind of blocking your creativity and your progress. So let's see what else unfolds here. And then in number two position, we have the Six of Pentacles. This card is about giving and receiving. Of course, it's about giving advice to someone or someone giving advice to you, whether it be financially or in your relationship. Let's go ahead and keep reading. What have you created? You created the Five of Cups. Now, the Five of Cups here, what that tells me is that you're focusing a lot on the negative parts of something that happened to you. It looks like you might be just kind of thinking about all the negativity of what you lost and not seeing the two opportunities over here behind you, the full cups behind you, because you're just so focused and dwelling on that negativity, on what you lost, you can't see the opportunities. And that's also kind of blocking part of that creativity that we were talking about just a minute ago. Let's go ahead and continue on the reading. What is kind of happening that's giving you the energy to go forward, the Ten of Wands, even though hard work does give you the energy to go forward, it can actually be feeling like a burden right now, being overwhelmed or overloaded. So this card is definitely a fighting an uphill battle. So it looks like you might be fighting an uphill battle. And I don't know if it's because it could be right here, like it says, you might be not wanting to give or receive certain advice, or you're kind of just focused on being overly cautious and you're not letting that creativity kind of flow and progress. Maybe you're kind of being a little impatient about it or a little stubborn about it. So let's go ahead and see what else comes about. In the number five position, we have what needs to be dissolved, which is the Fool. So it is good to take risk, but you always want to make sure you kind of take a step back before you actually take a step forward. So take a step to just kind of be paused, look at everything, look at the situation before taking a reckless step forward, because it does seem like there's a little bit of a reckless feeling here and here. So there's just kind of reminding you, don't take that reckless behavior, don't have that blind optimism, really do your research, because you don't want to come into like a rude awakening where something didn't turn out the way you were looking for it to turn out, because you're so focused on trying to make things happen, but also focus on some of what happened to you in the past that you can't even focus on what's going on now to prevent this recklessness that's kind of happening here. Okay. And then in here as well. So just kind of, let's see what the next part of the reading says here. You just kind of take your moment to step back and just kind of see everything before continuing forward. So right here, the Nine of Wands is kind of the center energy of this whole reading here. It kind of picks up that the center energy is a Nine of Wands. Now with the Nine of Wands, you have a beginning of a relationship, usually romantic or spiritual. So it looks like you're beginning some kind of relationship for some of you. For others of you, it might be just a possible new birth. Could be a birth of ideas as well. But it's definitely telling you to keep an open mind and kind of be open to those new opportunities. Again, the new opportunities dealing here. So it's kind of like diagonal telling you, watch out for those new opportunities. Make sure you do take them into consideration. And this is kind of in the middle of your reading here. Now, what you want to do is you want to make sure you kind of keep tab on how you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and why you want to act. And that'll help you kind of decide. Also, right here in the victory position, you have a major arcana card, the card of Judgment. So this is basically a card of atonement, maybe being forgiven for something, rebirth, or maybe getting the feeling if you're not being forgiven for something, at least an atonement, like, okay, I didn't do it. At least people are realizing that I didn't. Or some kind of rebirth. It could be the rebirth of ideas. We're talking about the birth here. Could be a birth of ideas, and for some of you, an actual birth, so congratulations. But it's telling you with this card, it's kind of messaging you, time to leave the past behind, along with any guilt and grievances, and just make amends and move forward. So don't try to take justice in your own hands or anything like that. Trust in the universe, trust in God, and just kind of trust in your intuition to help you move forward. But just make amends with that and move forward, because we know that you're kind of looking at a tough decision here that you need to make. And it could be a transformation or a renewal after or through this new decision that you have to make. And it looks like you're trying not to make it by thinking about it. It's like it's almost a little bit reckless. You just kind of want to do it and I'm done kind of thing. As energy that's kind of coming up. But right here with the Queen of Wands, it reveals what you want. Now the Queen of Wands is known to be energetic, magnetic, confident, and warm. And not unnecessarily emotional, but she's still very caring. So just kind of setting your mind to anything, anything she desires, and she kind of getting it done. So that's what you're kind of feeling. You're kind of feeling like, I want to be that magnetic person, that confident. I don't want to be overly emotional, but keep in mind this recklessness is part of that, of being overly emotional. So you don't want to be overly emotional. You want to look at everything for what it is, and you want to set your mind and kind of get things done. This is kind of what you've been looking for. Now, in the trunk of the tree, we have the Three of Swords. Now, with the Three of Swords here, it tells me how others see you or how you see yourself. So it looks like you've gone through a heartbreak, painful separation possibly, or you're going through a separation, maybe a divorce or a breakup, a disappointment, betrayal. Maybe there was some abandonment and feelings there as well, but definitely maybe some betrayal because of the three here. Could be a third person involved. But it's necessary to mourn the loss that you're having to go through so that you can release that pain and move forward. So these two are right here telling you it's time to move forward, release that pain, start healing so that you can continue moving forward. Now, what's radiating out of the outcome here? And it's just radiating out of the reading. It represents, this is a Wheel of Fortune. It represents fate, destiny, opportunities. Again, with the opportunities, that change in luck. When you have the right timing with the timing and the luck at the same time, and the situation just kind of goes your way, right? That spiritual growth that you might be looking into also. And definitely that vision and enlightenment, looking within so you can get that other more deeper perspective of life. It could also represent karma, life cycles. And then you just remembering it can change in any direction or any kind of movement. So let's see if there's a little bit more clarity to why you're feeling that. Let's see here. And we have the Sun card. Now with the Sun card here, it's a beautiful card. It is a card of representing enlightenment. So it looks like you're trying to find that truth, that deep inside within you, that, within the universe here. Everything that encourages you to shine brightly is what you want to continue feeling forward. So it does tell you have to continue with that positivity. You have to get over this reckless feeling or thinking and just kind of dwelling on, I should have done this here in the past. And when you're kind of focusing on the negative on what you lost and not on what you can still gain, but without doing it recklessly, because it seems like you might be doing some things recklessly here, and it could be dealing with an Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. So you want to make sure you kind of get rid of that so that you can stop blocking that creativity and that progress that you're trying to come to fruition. So right here, this is known as a column of severity. This is known as a column of mercy. And in the middle, we have a column of harmony. As you go up the column of harmony, you can get a better perspective or a new perspective, hopefully a more positive one of your situation, if we didn't already take that from the original part of the reading today. So right here, we have, of course, in the root of the tree, the Wheel of Fortune. Want to stay positive. That's fate, destiny, karma. Definitely a lot of spiritual growth coming up. But it's also reminding you opportunities. Again, like what we started with, right? Opportunities you're not looking at right here. Then, of course, as you go up the tree, getting healing through this separation, through this maybe third party involvement here, in one aspect or the other. And of course, looking at the Judgment card and the Queen of Wands, with that atonement, that time to leave something behind, making sure that you kind of, you have that, you were actually wanting that mindset where you can just keep going forward, dropping the recklessness again, keeping the positivity here. And of course, with this one, it's that usual beginning of relationships. It could be spiritual relationship as well, or romantic. And for some of you, a birth or a birth of ideas, but definitely keeping an open mind to those opportunities. So this whole reading is about those opportunities that you're not kind of focused on because you're being a little reckless. So it's time to kind of focus it on, keep giving and receiving. And then hopefully you'll be able to correct the situation here where you're no longer reckless, and turn this page upside up, the Page of Cups, and having those bit more balanced feelings to keep going forward and approaching the situation with more creativity and progress. I wish you lots of positive, vibes this month, basically, for the rest of the year. I hope that you will join me again next month. If you want me to keep posting these videos, please go ahead and subscribe so that I know that you want me to continue posting the videos for Scorpio for next month. Also, please like and comment or share. Somebody you might know might be in need of this kind of positive feedback on their situation if it's something similar they're going through. And I hope that it does bring positive perspective to you and whoever you share this with. Thank you very much for joining me today. And as always, I wish you lots of peace, love, and light. Thank you very much for joining me. See you soon.